We're on top of the breaking news. We've learned from a senior law enforcement official familiar with the case that George Zimmerman will be charged in the shooting death of Trayvon Martin. Now, remember yesterday, Zimmerman's attorneys announced that they don't represent him anymore. It was a very bizarre press conference. A lot of questions coming in. HLN's social media producer, Anna Gonzalez, has been monitoring Twitter and Facebook and our own website, looking to see what questions you have that we can answer. And defense attorney Jennifer Bongine is here to answer those questions. Thank you both, ladies. Anna, take it away. What are people saying?
Yeah, Rochelle, this story, we just posted it on HLNTV.com, and I want to show you. This story has 3,000 shares right now on Facebook, and the comments just keep pouring in. And people are saying, thank the Lord. They're praising God, and they're saying it's about time. But we're also getting questions and comments on Facebook.com/HLN and Twitter. So this comes from Twitter. So we want to know, how are they going to charge him if he's in hiding, Jennifer? I'm confused at how all this works. Would that make him a fugitive?
Well, once he's charged, he has an obligation, of course, to turn himself into law authorities. Whether or not he actually does that, of course, is a question we don't have the answer to quite yet. But once he refuses to turn himself in or evades an arrest, he will then be a fugitive of sorts. He has an obligation. They will issue an arrest warrant. He will be on notice of that arrest warrant, and the authorities will have the right to arrest him when they see him. And if he evades that arrest warrant, then yes, he is evading essentially the criminal charges that have been filed.
So, but basically, but calling it a fugitive at this point, as you're saying, Jennifer, we're just getting way, way ahead of ourselves.
Well, I wouldn't. No, of course, he hasn't actually been charged.
Right.
He is not a fugitive at this moment. But that being said, as soon as an arrest warrant is issued in this case, which it sounds like is going to happen in very short course, he will have an obligation to come forward. And we just don't know whether he's going to do that yet. We don't really have any reason to believe he is in hiding, or avoiding prosecution at this time. Correct.
Okay, Anna, what else do you have?
Well, Rochelle, I'm sure you're really active on social media, and you're probably seeing a lot of response, too. And I wanted to read a comment that we got from Teresa Bird on Facebook. She says, finally, anyone that heard that 911 call could hear that boy crying out for help. I can't get it out of my head. That Zimmerman stalked that boy, attacked him, then shot him. End of story. Pray for the family's peace. So as you can see, there are a lot of different emotions that are coming from this case. On the other hand, some people are really happy about the fact that we're going to finally get to see some justice. So like Brandon says, let the courts decide. This isn't a popularity contest. Obviously, Trayvon did something that made people hold off arresting Zimmerman. Zimmerman should be arrested to determine the truth because he fired a weapon and killed someone when he wasn't in his own home. So as you can see, they're really excited to see what's going to happen next in this case. Jennifer, we also have another question. Letitia Davis wants to know, let's say Zimmerman really did shoot Trayvon in self-defense. Should he be charged with anything then?
Well, here's the problem. There wasn't an adequate investigation done at the beginning of this case. That seems to be clear. Witnesses weren't spoken to, interviewed. 911 calls were not reviewed and scrutinized. I mean, basic rudimentary police procedure was not conducted. So we have a lapse, and that is often hard in prosecuting a case. It is for a jury of Mr. Zimmerman's peers to determine whether or not he can successfully avail himself of a self-defense. Of course, if he actually committed self-defense and that can be established to a jury of his peers, sure, that's a justification. But here's the problem: the facts, as we understand them, and they have unfolded in the media to a great degree, suggest that Zimmerman's tale or story is just really not holding up against the facts that have unfolded. A lot of people go into a police station and say, I didn't do it. And the police cannot say, well, you say you didn't do it, but they have to look at the totality of the circumstances and determine whether or not it passes muster. And they didn't do that in this case. They gave him the benefit of the doubt, and they didn't adequately investigate the case. Now, that has been completed. It looks like, notwithstanding the fact that he claims self-defense, we are going to have charges filed. And now he will have the opportunity to present a defense in a court of law before his peers. And then this is the truth-seeking process. This is what people have been waiting for. No one's saying string them up, but let's let the process work itself out so that the truth can come out through the court proceedings.
All right, Jennifer, Anna, thank you both very much,
you.
ladies. And again, less than 3 hours from now, 6 o'clock, we will be hearing from the special prosecutor in the case to hear what her decision is regarding George